It's the Gear Tester here, and welcome to the review of my 4 favorite everyday carry knives. If you're looking for a good EDC knife, I would encourage you to consider one of these 4 knives. Each of these knives weighs under 3.5 ounces, and its overall blade length is under 3 inches, which means that each of these knives is very compact and very lightweight, which makes it easy to everyday carry. And if it's easy to carry, you'll actually take it with you. I often carry larger folding blades than these, but these are knives that when I have them on me, I don't know that they're there. Even the fixed blade option down there at the end. The first knife I want to talk about here is a Spyderco Delica. It's a knife out of this group that I have owned for the least amount of time. It's a Spyderco Delica 4. It is the Car Arms Special Edition, which means it has this unique blade shape that's really designed for self-defense more than everyday tasks, but it works just fine for doing everyday things. It is the thinnest overall of these knives and is probably the lightest weight, but it is a great blade, one that I would highly recommend to you if you're looking for a very thin, very lightweight knife. When I have this knife on me, I don't know that it's there. But it runs around $80, and it's the knife that I've had for about 5.5 months. Maybe a little bit less than that. This next knife I have owned for the longest period of time. This was my first knife out of this group of blades here. This is the Spyderco Persistence. It's the most cost-effective blade. It costs around $45 right now. And I would come highly recommended from me as well. It is still relatively thin. It has a frame lock, okay? It is a great blade. I have used and abused this knife for the better part of 6.5 years, and it keeps on going. It is a great blade. This broad blade is great for cutting things, great for doing food prep, and is just an overall workhorse of a knife. You can see I have put a lot of use into this blade, and it still keeps on going. I have had to tighten up the pivot point a couple times, and I do from time to time spray in some lubrication there like WD-40 to keep it running smoothly, but still comes out extremely easily. The Benchmade Mini Griptilian, this happens to be the 555 HG version. It has the blade, which is the sheep's foot blade, and it is the HG stands for the hollow ground. You can see that there. This is my favorite folding knife out of these 3. Okay, this one's the one I've carried probably the most overall. I've had this for the better part of 4.5 years. It is relatively very thin, but it is still, you know, the way it swells there, it still feels very nice in the hand. It is a great blade for doing everyday tasks because of the overall blade shape. The hollow ground nature of the blade means that it cuts through things very nicely. It's great for quartering apples. It's great even for skinning game, and it does a great job for all the things that I need: opening boxes, opening letters, all the stuff you do on an everyday basis. I can't think of a nicer little blade to use than the than the Benchmade Mini Griptilian series, and of course I prefer the hollow ground sheep's foot blade that you see there. Most people might not think about carrying a fixed blade knife all the time with them, like the Izula 2, and most people might say, hey, this would make a great neck knife. I actually haven't carried it as a neck knife very much, maybe a couple days. Primarily I have carried it in my pocket with the sheath, okay, just tucking it down into my pocket like so, or I've carried it on my belt, okay, and I've actually put my belt not through like this, but through like this, so it actually conforms to my body, almost like an inside the waistband holster, but it's been outside the waistband, and that has proved to be very, very comfortable. I have hundreds of hours of carrying this knife in that manner, but I also have hundreds of hours of carrying it just in my pocket, just slipped in my pocket, just like this, even with the clip-on, don't even know it's there. This knife is out of all 4 of the blades, this is the most sturdy knife, of course, because it is a full tang knife. But it still weighs under 3.5 ounces, which makes it a great little blade. It is very thick, which means it doesn't slice things as well if you're trying to do food prep or things like that. But it is a very durable, strong blade, and it's the one that I would take if I had to do heavy tasks. This is the one that I would take out of these 4. But it is a great blade. It is easy to carry. I've never had, because of the way it's designed and shaped and the way it looks, I've never had anybody have a problem with this knife. It's not tactical. It doesn't look like a mean blade. I guess you could use it in that way, but for everyday tasks, it proves itself to be very, very durable and very useful to me. So, those are my 4 favorite EDC knives. The Spyderco Delica, the Spyderco Persistence, the Benchmade Mini Griptilian, and the Azula 2. Leave a comment down below and give this video a like. Let me know which knives you carry on an everyday basis, and maybe if you like the look or the function or the usefulness of one of these 4 blades. Thank you very much for your views and your subscriptions. My goal is to produce quality video reviews on the topics of shooting, camping, and survival gear. An everyday carry knife is an essential tool, one that I would highly recommend to you. This is the Gear Tester signing off.